This is the Barbados Today afternoon news for Thursday, August 24th. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Our top story this afternoon, Barbadians are being warned to brace for further austerity measures as government continues to struggle with high debt, a wide fiscal deficit and low economic growth, as well as falling reserves. The warning comes from noted Caribbean economist Marla Dukaran, and she was addressing a public forum hosted by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Barbados at the Savannah Hotel last evening. Dukaran was speaking under the theme, Homegrown or IMF Designed, what should Barbados' economic recovery plan look like? She says it does not matter if the plan is a national one or from the International Monetary Fund, but she believes Barbados still has to choose its poison to solve its economic woes.
So I'm saying all of that to get everybody to understand that whilst I don't want to use the word austerity, just like I don't want to use the word devaluation, we have plenty dirty words that we don't like in economics, or people don't like. It's a fact. It's going to happen, regardless of which party is in power, regardless of whether it's the IMF or a homegrown program. That fiscal deficit, which is, to me, underpinning all the other problems, as I've outlined in the equation, the growth problem and the reserve problem, that fiscal deficit has to be fixed. The level of debt also has to be addressed. So those are going to be the fundamental, to me, the fundamental pillars of a recovery process and what you're going to have to do and the policy measures you're going to have to take to fix the problem in Barbados.
Meanwhile, President of the Barbados Private Sector Association, Charles Herbert, says he believes the problems could have already been addressed since several recommendations were submitted to government over the years. He points to a lack of political will and a lack of firm leadership as the main hindrances to economic progress.
There are so many recommendations. They all have the same theme. The theme is all different from what gets implemented, but generally nothing is implemented. Our biggest problem is implementation. We are just not implementing any of the recommendations that are before us. We find ways to form new committees to talk about them, to make a new list of the same items, and generally speaking, we just don't seem to have the political will to implement the recommendations that are before us. And every year that we don't do it, the recommendations become harsher. So I really am beginning to be quite browbeaten as to what the solution is.
In other news this afternoon, members of the Royal Barbados Police Force have been telling residents of Gall Hill and Vale that they understand the cloud of unease which is now hanging over their communities following the latest killings. Police officers walked through those communities yesterday after 2 men were shot within 24 hours of each other. Commander of the Southern Division, Senior Superintendent Euclid Thompson, says there will be an increased police presence in the area. He also says he understands the fear of individuals at this time.
There are people who are clearly hurting. Some are not apt to speak. Some are speaking openly with us, as you would have realized when we were further down the road. And I was here yesterday and had a very good reception as well from the people. And there's a mood in which people really feel very sad about what is going on, because they feel that it's not the people within the community that is part of this whole mess, that there are people who are coming in. And that is the normal situation in societies where people who are not known to the people in the area will come in and create this kind of mayhem, as the case may be.
Meanwhile, one resident, Shane Clark, says he is now even more concerned about the safety of his family following the killings.
I honestly can't go on living my life in fear, you know what I mean? So you will like something to be done. I honestly don't know. I can't come up with a solution right now as to what to do about it, other than a greater police presence in the area and see how it goes from there. Because at least, you know, for the time being that the police in the area, nothing should happen.
And the shooting deaths in Christchurch bring to 23 the number of people who have been killed so far this year. President of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, Mary Redman, is accusing the Caribbean Examinations Council of committing a grave error by failing to grade school-based assessment projects submitted by some students from Combermere School. A local media house reported that the students were in tears because SBAs from the Cape Business Management class and the CSEC Geography class had not been graded. One student appeared to blame the school, stating that while there is a problem regarding teachers and the running of the institution, he did not think it would have affected students' results. CXC's Assistant Registrar for Public Information and Customer Service, Cleveland Sam, says he is unaware of the matter. But Redman came to Combermere's defense, saying she had no doubt that the projects were corrected and the information sent to the regional examinations body. Sports now. Barbados Tridents have called up England T20 batting star Ian Morgan for the remainder of their 2017 CPL campaign. Morgan will arrive ahead of the start of the Tridents' home leg, which begins next Tuesday with a match against Guyana Amazon Warriors at Kensington Oval. He is one of the world's leading T20 batsmen and has played 234 T20 matches, scoring 5,062 runs.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Welcome to CariFesta 13. As an AmeriCaribbean affiliate, we at the Barbados Light and Power Company strive to live and work injury-free, and we encourage you to do the same. Being safe means protecting yourself against crime. So when possible, avoid lonely or poorly lit pathways, ATMs, or car parks. From all of us at the Barbados Light and Power Company Limited, have a safe, enjoyable, and incident-free CariFesta.
CariFesta 13, Barbados.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back now with news from the region. Indigenous people in Guyana are making a strong case for preservation of their lands as they seek to deal with the effects of climate change. We get the details in this report from HGP Nightly News.
Indigenous peoples are fighting to hold on to their legacies and identities, in which their ancestral lands play an integral role, says Chairman of the NTC, Joel Fredericks.
Our lands are vital to our identities, values, and spiritualities. If the indigenous peoples' rights are not secure, respected, and protected, it would be impossible for the government to deliver on the promises of the Paris Agreement, COP21, and the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs.
Chairman of the NTC, Joel Fredericks, at the opening of the NTC's Conference 2017. Tishal Fredericks lamented that his people have seen and noted with great concern conflict and infringement on their lands by private entities and also the state through agencies such as the Protected Areas Commission in the Chinapao area, Kaichur Falls National Park.
Secure land rights for indigenous peoples are proven change for climate solution. And denying indigenous peoples land rights and rights to self-determination is a threat to the world's remaining forests and biodiversity.
And finally, while Guyana's indigenous people are campaigning to preserve their land, the government of Brazil has abolished a vast national reserve in the Amazon to open the area to mining. The area covers 46,000 square kilometers and is thought to be rich in gold and other minerals. The government says 9 conservation and indigenous land areas within it will continue to be legally protected, but activists say they are concerned that those areas could be compromised. And that takes us to the end of the news this afternoon. For more, you can visit our website www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Have a good afternoon.